Hey, are you getting positive ROI with your Facebook ads? Or is it just one failed campaign right after another? Are you thinking to run Facebook ads, but you're too afraid and too uncertain if it will work for you? Well, then today I've got something that will not only change the way that you run ads on Facebook, but also potentially turn each and every one of your campaigns that you ever run into a winner. How about clicking no more than a few times to put your ad right in front of those passionate people that will give you crazy amounts of engagement, clicks, and ultimately sales? Or how about diving into a new niche almost blindfolded and yet have an ad campaign that beats every other advertiser in that niche? Last but not least, how about getting so much traffic that it would probably require a server upgrade, and even better, get all that traffic for way less money than you've been spending previously? Look, it's not even a secret anymore, unless you haven't used Facebook ads before, that targeting is everything. It doesn't matter if you've got unlimited money to burn and get all your ads designed by expensive designers over 99designs.com. It doesn't matter if you hire the almighty Frank Kern to write ad copy for your ads. If you are targeting people from Greenland for your ice business, it simply won't work. The truth is, unless you know what your best audience is and where it is located, you can't be profitable ever. Here's the thing though. It's the targeting where most of the people do go wrong, and it's the targeting that's time consuming and harder to master. Now, Facebook doesn't make it any easier either, and they definitely are not going to hand you over all the interests on a platter. You've got to dig for those interests and dig deeper. And in order to do that, you will need to use the Facebook Audience tool, a tool that is in itself a pain in the back to work with. It's hours upon hours of finding interests one by one, validating them again one by one, to see if they are really relevant, then saving them in text files. That's easy a day or two wasted for a single campaign right there. Even then, you haven't dug enough, and you haven't, done it right. Because once you run an ad, it will show when you start getting low click-through rates, low add-to-carts, and higher CPCs. Now, the thing is that the selected few who are making a killing and making huge numbers don't use audiences that are already beaten to the death. What they do instead is locate those little pockets of audiences that are buried somewhere deep and are still untapped, and where the actual spenders hang out. That's exactly what we have for you today, right here, right now. Something to access those real spenders who aren't easily accessible with normal research tools. Introducing Audiencer. Now, it's the most advanced, most organized, and most deep-digging interest excavator that will hand you over profitable interests with just a couple of clicks. This is great, great stuff. No more jumping from one Chrome tab to another copy, pasting interests from Facebook one by one. No more searching interests one by one either. Audiencer gives you the ability to gather hundreds of profitable interests in a single go while ditching interests that are duds. Let me actually show you how easy it is to find profitable interests with Audiencer in just 4 clicks. Click 1, name your audience, and type in the ideal customer that you would like to target. Now, click 2 is you enter your main keyword. Click 3 is to hit search and get access to hundreds of relevant interests that you could use right away. And on the final 4th click, you can one-click copy or save all your interests for your Facebook campaigns. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You are now well on your way to launch campaigns that are 99% of the time a winner. Now, with this much accuracy, just imagine launching e-com products that get almost viral because your targeting is so spot on. People can't resist sharing it and buying it. Imagine one after another campaign turning green with a positive ROI. Imagine getting leads, and that too, for just cents. Imagine getting traffic for pennies, really. Imagine getting local clients begging you for your service because your local ad got shown exactly to those who are in dire need of services that you offer. Not only that, as you might already know, if your ad is relevant and it's laser targeted, Facebook rewards you with more audience reach. And that's basically reaching way more people now for way less cost. You can achieve all of that and more with Audiencer. The best part is we aren't going to charge you an arm and a leg for it. We've kept the price very reasonable. But just keep in mind this offer won't be here for long, because here's the thing. Audiencer is too powerful, and the data it digs out is too exclusive to be shared on a massive scale, and that's why we would be converting it to a monthly subscription soon after the launch is over. And post-launch price will definitely be not less than $67 a month or $297 per year. So the best time to get it for the lowest price is right now. Having said that, if you're still, on the fence, well then just answer me the following. Who do you think can dive deeper into a sea diving competition? A guy on his breath alone, a guy with a snorkel, or a guy with a scuba diver tank? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Audiencer is exactly equivalent of a scuba diver tank, so you can dive deeper and deeper into the Facebook sea of data and get to those deeply buried interests where the real money is. So what is to wait for? Nothing. Click the button right now and get in before the price goes up.
Hey JVs, and welcome to Audiencer's JV page. In this video I want to give you a short overview of what the app does and how it will help your clients make more money with Facebook ads. You know how popular Facebook is these days, especially for e-commerce businesses, and you know how many people struggle to make a profit with their stores. And one of the biggest reasons why people fail is their targeting. Because if you don't put your product in front of the right people, you're just wasting money. So to solve this, we've created an app that not only cuts your research time in half, but if you're in a popular niche, it gives you good interest to target without doing any work at all. So let's dive in. I want to show you how this entire thing works. First thing first, just to stay organized, we've split all the research work into projects, and each of the projects contain audiences. To access a project, you just click on this drop down here. Like you see, this is my actual account. And to rename a project, if you're not happy with the name, you just click on this button and name it, let's say, for example, test in our case, and you see here it already changes. And if I want to create a new project, I click on the drop down, go to the bottom and click create new project. You see the new name is already new project, and I can switch back to my old one. And again, this is only to keep things organized. Projects and audiences don't pull each other. It doesn't matter if you've researched the same niche in another project. This is just so you can find your stuff easier. Now, one very important thing to bear in mind is the app learns from what people research and what they consider useful for their targeting. So in time, it builds a huge list of interests and niches and how related they are to those given niches, which is something you'll definitely love, and I'll show you that in a bit. Now, let's pretend we're in the dogs niche, which is a very popular one and in which people spend money on a monthly basis, at least for, let's say, food, clothes, leashes, whatever the dogs break in the house. So it's a very healthy niche, so we've decided to step in. So let's pretend we're selling a dog leash. So let's think about it. Who in the world would buy a dog niche? Normally our target audience would be, let's say, dog lovers or dog owners or something similar to that. So what I'm going to do now is create a new audience inside my project and give it a name, say dogs or dog leash, since we're selling a dog leash. And for tags, I'm going to, you see, there's a tags thing in here. This is where we tell the app what niche are we in, or who is our ideal customer. In our case, as I was saying earlier, I'm going to type in dog lovers or dog owners, and you see, let's say, dog lovers. You see, the app, while I type, the app already gives me suggestions. Let's do dog owners as well. And if I just type dog, you see there's dogs, dog breeds, dog toy, dog magazines, dog owners. Let's say dogs again. So you can see you can only use 3 tags or 3 niches or 3 ideal customer to describe your niche. This is only to keep the app clean and not get it crowded with all kinds of misspelled words and stuff like that, and test niches. So just use your best judgment to decide who your best customer is. In my case, I'm not going to sell dog leashes to dogs, so I'll just keep dog owners and dog lovers in here and click save and continue. If you change your mind later, you can remove these from the audience settings. I'm going to show you in a bit. This is if you want to change anything to this niche, just click here and type in your name, or remove dog owners, or add it back. It's here, and click save and close. In my case, I'm going to just click cancel, and we are now in the audience edit screen here. Now, this is where you'll be spending most of the time while researching for interests. As you can see, this page is split in half. On the left, you'll be doing research, and on the right, you'll be adding interest to your collection, where it says my interest here. So in our case, I'm going to type a keyword that will bring me interests related to our dog niche, our dog lovers. So what would be a dog owner interested in? So that's obvious. For our example, it's dogs. So I'm going to type dogs here and hit enter, and you'll see the first cool thing that you'll never find on Facebook itself. As you can see, we have a bunch of interests right from their API here. And why this is cool is because Facebook itself only reveals like 25 interests when you do a search. And let me show you. If I type dogs in here, you can see it's just a few of them. And if you want to see audience sizes, you have to hover over each one of them and see what's what, and you cannot inspect them. You don't know what's what about them. So if you look at the results here, you see they have a few buttons here and one here. With the plus button, you add them to your collection. So let's say life with dogs. If I hit plus, you see it appears here. And a very important thing, before advertising to any of these interests, you have to decide if they're good or not for your campaigns. So in our case, if you look here, the dogs interest has almost 400 million people. And obviously this is not something you want to target, because it's very broad and very not related to your product. So if you click on the Insights button, this button on the left, first on the left, it will take you to the Audience Insights on Facebook, and this one will do a Facebook search, and this one will do a Google search. Let's click. So you see, in the case of dogs, this is not really relevant, but if you happen to find an interest that you don't know what it is, like Dogster. I don't know what Dogster is. I'm going to click on Google and see. Looks like a company. Another one. The Winery Dogs. American Rocks. Okay, so obviously this tells me I would not advertise to this interest just because it has dogs word in it. And if you look at this huge list, it has like 400 interests. So if you do like $10 per interest, that means around $4,000 per day only to test all of these interests. So before adding any of these to your audience, you need to check them first. So you just take them one by one, and as you can see, this takes a lot of time, but it's useful because you learn a lot about your target audience. And this is why I came up with this starters tab, which if you click on it, already shows you a bunch of interests you can target in this dog space. and I already added a bunch in another project. This is the audience. You can see I already have a bunch of interest in here. And the cool thing is, and this is another thing you won't be able to find in on Facebook itself, is the suggestions. Facebook has some suggestions, but if you type, let's say, dogs, click on suggestions, pets, cats, puppy love, dog walking, you see suggestions. You always see suggestions for all the interests you've already added to your campaign. Whereas in my software, for example, if you want to go for dog food, you just click on suggestions and you see a lot of interest related to dog food. I already added some of them here, and if I click, for example, if I select dog food and Royal Canin, Yams, Yukonuba, Alpo, Purina, these are not dog food, this is just dogs, and if I click on suggestions, I get only dog food related interests. So it's obvious here, a dog owner will buy dog food and will be interested in dog food. So if you want to advertise to dog owners, you probably want to advertise to dog food related interest. So in our case, I could add Beneful, Dog Chow, Friskies. I think Friskies is more for cats. Put in a, I don't know, Friskies, cats. So again, a Google search helps us. So Friskies won't be good to target. Nestle Purina Pet Care, this is fine, although it's kind of big. Bacon strips, cat food, whatever. You do your best judgment to decide what to advertise to. Also, as I was saying earlier, the app learns from what we add here. So whenever some other people, some other users of the app come and try to research the dog's niche, the dog owner's niche, and click on starters, they'll be seeing the most used interests for this niche. So this is pretty awesome, and I think your clients will also love this. Lastly, if you want to grab them and add them to your campaign, you just select all, or select a few, or select them one by one. If you want to copy them one by one, you just click on these buttons. If you want to copy them all, you click on the select all button, copy, and you'll be able to add them all to your campaign. You see, I've added a ton of them. Obviously, it's not a good idea to target them all in one ad set. You see, there's almost 90 million people. So what you should do is pay attention to the sizes and to the overall score you get within the app. So a high relevance score for an interest means it's been used a lot, but this doesn't mean it's a highly competitive interest, because on Facebook there's a huge overlap between interests. So whoever loves dogs, maybe they love I don't know, maybe they're engineers and they be targeted from the engineer perspective, or maybe they're marketers and they may be targeted from the marketer's perspective. So this doesn't necessarily mean that if you find a high relevant interest, the cost will be very cheap, and the other way around, if you find not such relevant interest, that doesn't mean your cost will be high. This is calculated for each auction on Facebook, and you cannot determine that. But with a high relevance and a high score in general, you will be able to find interests that are related to your niche. So the chances for you to get a lower price and a higher relevance score on your ads will be higher. So definitely use the app, and whenever you find an interest that you think is good for your targeting, add it to your list. So the app learns from your experience and from what you think is good to target. Thanks, and I hope you'll promote this, and I hope your clients will love this. And for any questions, don't forget to contact us. Thanks.